I've always loved having a big family, especially around the holidays. There's always someone to talk and mess around with. My favorite person to spend time with has always been my grandma, Kathleen Rasmussen. I remember spending lots of time baking and cleaning her house for when guests come over. She always had to have everything perfect, one of the many ways we are similar. Kathleen was born on December 13, 1956 at St. Mary's Hospital. She was 7 pounds and 3 ounces and was the oldest of 7 children. She was always amazed at how her mother, Janice, and her father, Harold, could raise that many children. Kathleen had 3 brothers, Gary, Wayne, and Dan, and 3 sisters, Mary, Jo, Carolyn, and Julie. Kathleen and her siblings grew up in Crystal, Minnesota. Every year, for about 20 years, they would go to a resort on a beautiful lake and spend some quality family time there. Kathleen attended St. Raphael's Catholic School until 8th grade, and then went to Cooper High School. Kathleen's family also went to church at St. Raphael's every Sunday. Kathleen loved school. It was easy. She got straight A's and also played softball. Kathleen could balance her schoolwork, softball, and social life without hardly any effort. She loved hanging out with her best friend Linda at school, football games, and pizza places afterward. She also loved going to Bridgman's ice cream parlor. She had a curfew of midnight and never broke it until one night on daylight savings when her father stayed up to turn the clocks ahead, just to make her think she broke curfew. Kathleen almost never got in trouble, and she was a very independent person. She even bought her own car, a 1973 Chevy Nova, with the money she got from her jobs when she was 17. She first worked in public finance and then decided that she needed another job as a waitress at Betty Crocker's Pie Shop. She graduated from Cooper High School when she was 18 and never went to college. When she was 19, she met my grandpa, Keith Rasmussen, at Mattawa's Cavern, a bar in Mattawa. They fell in love quickly and got married a year and a half later. April 23rd of 1977 was a special day they spent together celebrating their love for each other. A year later, they had their first baby girl, Amanda, on March 2nd, 1978. Not long after, they moved to a house outside of Barnum, Minnesota. A few years later, they gave little Amanda a sister on July 18th. Amanda loved her sister Melissa, and they were always very close. They even shared a room once their parents had a boy on March 9th and another boy on July 12th. The oldest boy was Brad, and the youngest was Tim. They all spent most of their time playing together outside in the woods. The 3 older children loved picking on their youngest sibling, Tim. They knew exactly how to make him cry and continued to do so no matter how much trouble they would get in. When the children got older, Kathleen and Keith decided to house a foreign exchange student for a year. Irene, 10, was a girl from Kyrgyzstan, Russia that only spoke a little bit of English. Irene was 17 years old and changed her name when she came to America. She only knew a few words from English like school, eat, go, and sleep. Irene and all Kathleen's children graduated from Barnum High School, where Kathleen worked as a secretary since she got the job at 35 years old. Kathleen and Keith got their first grandchild from Amanda and her husband Jamie when she was 46. The grandchild was a boy named Jordan. Amanda and Jamie gave Kathleen another grandchild a year and a half later, but this one was a baby girl named Kennedy. Eventually, Amanda and Jamie divorced 6 months after Kennedy was born, and Amanda remarried to Thomas Paul, who also had a boy and a girl. 5 years later, Melissa and her childhood crush, John, gave birth to a girl they named Isabel. She was born premature, so she had to stay in the hospital for a while. A few years later, they gave birth to Braden on November 14. Keith then retired at age 60 from working in the railroad industry that he had worked in since he was 19 years old. He hadn't gone to college either. Tim and Lina gave Kathleen and Keith their 7th grandchild, Hudson, a month before Brad and Erica gave them their 8th. Kathleen says that her favorite memories are when her children and grandchildren are with them and spending time together. Kathleen has not retired yet, but Keith is trying to convince her to. Although she's quite short, Kathleen has always been someone I looked up to. She is very kind, thoughtful, generous, and very level-headed. She always knows what to say or do in any given situation. She is an amazing person and my role model.